Chair, members can talk about whatever they like, but I decide what I talk about. Well, I deal with facts, not party political points. I think Londoners are grateful that I've not been listening to you. I always listen in an engaged and interested-looking way to whatever you say, Sean, as I'll do this afternoon. Chair, I want to say this in a way that doesn't appear patronising, but the naivety of the chair of TfL saying publicly a figure that TfL would be liable to in a claim for breach of contract.
I'm asking for an estimate today, Mr. Mayor, not a figure.
Well, I'm not giving you an estimate because the reasons that I've got a fiduciary duty. But I'd hope that as a member of the Assembly, you would understand the consequences of making public what the liabilities potentially could be for either a breach of contract and also the idea of negotiated in public through Mayor's question time what could be liable to a private company. I think just demonstrates why, with respect, Londoners were right to reject you twice when you stood to be Mayor.
I have no further questions, but it's very disappointing that we're being denied the opportunity to do this democratic thing that we're entitled to do every year. Thank you.
Again, Chair, no question, but as you're being so impartial, I suppose I'm going to get a chance to respond. This will be the last time she serves as a Member of Parliament in that constituency.
That's not the answer to the question. The question is, will you meet with tenants? You can say whatever you want, and you can say to them whatever you want. You can say it's the government's fault. I will come with you on that call, and if there's something we need to ask the government for, I will do that, and I will join you.
Well,
but what I'm asking for you is, and when have you ever emailed me? When have you ever asked me to do anything?
Well,
so,
Chair, I find it astonishing that this member doesn't know the financial challenges TfL faces.
it's about the tenants, and I'm asking you if you will meet with them. I will meet with them as well, and you can say whatever you like on that meeting. The question is not that right now. The question is, will you meet with the tenants?
I find it astonishing, Chair, that the member isn't aware of the pressures being brought on TfL, which is leading to...
Set up a meeting.
Chair, I've answered the question in relation to...
That's my question.
See, it's quite clear they don't like the fact that I'm illustrating some of the consequences of their government's action on TfL.
I think it's really sad. I'm not trying to play politics, and if we need to solve these issues together, people are going through real issues, and all I wanted to ask was for a meeting. Do you recognise that you've been given quite an unprecedented amount for affordable housing?
Okay, let me deal with the various points raised in what I think was a question. Let me try and explain slowly. So the money the government gave us was from 2016.
You can try and be condescending all you like, Mr. Mayor. I've repeated the figures
give me a
you
chance.
gave to me.
I'll be more so. Give me a chance.
I think if you spent more time thinking about how you could answer these questions and less ways you could try and insult me over a petty word choice, then you'd probably be in a better position for London.
What's that, pot, kettle, black?
I don't know if I've offended you in any way, but
Thank you. Pot, kettle, black, is it?
I think the Christmas
Chair,
spirit...
the Chair's woken up.
I
Welcome,
think the
Chair.
Christmas spirit has just left the room, so if we could stick to answering questions.
Oh, thank goodness he's woken up.
Assembly Member Best, have you finished?
She's finished, I can assure you that, Chair.
Mr. Mayor, you'll feel much better when you're
she's
opening
bellowing.
your presents, I'm sure.
So I'll ask again, were you shocked by those figures? I was shocked and saddened myself. Were you?
I'm astonished that you're not aware of these figures. I know these figures because I examine them regularly, and I meet the bereaved families, and I meet them on a regular basis, so it wasn't a shock to me at all.
Well, it must have been, because you gave the wrong figures at the beginning, and the Commissioner actually said, you've both got it wrong. Both you and I gave much lower figures than was the fact, which is why I'm asking you the simple question, were you shocked by those terrible figures?
Well, I'll answer again.
Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, that's a lot of words, but that didn't actually answer the question. PM 2.5 hasn't reduced in 5 years you've been in charge, and I'm asking you, what is your plans and what are your targets by the end of your next term?
I'm really sorry,
it hasn't
Chair.
changed.
See, one of the problems when you're planning your next question is you don't listen to the current answer. So I did say you're wrong because particulate matter has gone...
then. Tell me your target.
Because particulate matter has gone down by 27% in central London because of the ultra-low emission zone. And I also said...
PM 2.5, Mr. Mayor, it's still breathed by 99% of Londoners. It hasn't changed in the last 5 years. King's College study has found that.
I'm telling you, particulate matter in central London, PM 2.5, has gone down by 27% because of the ultra-low emission zone. I've also explained that the target is to get to zero by 2030, and I've also explained we have milestones along the way. I further explained that the expansion of ULEZ in 11 days' time, which you oppose, will further reduce PM 2.5, which you claim to care about, and I've also explained we could do far more with additional powers or resources from the government.
Thank you. And on the point of personal explanation more than anything, I've never said that I oppose the ULEZ. What I've said is I oppose your ULEZ, because what it does is it makes the poorest Londoners pay for cleaning up air quality. That's what upsets me, that your scheme does not
Chair,
protect the poorest Londoners.
Chair.
And that's on a point of personal explanation.
Well, no, Chair, you can't make up standing orders because you're a new member. Let me respond to the question raised and the point raised by the member using her
that
time.
was a point of personal explanation.
It was indeed, because the Mayor
Chair, I know you're a
saying
Tory,
what
but
my
you're
view
impartial
is,
to
and
the
that's not
Chair.
my view.
I'm also the chair, and that was a point of
course
personal
you are.
explanation, which is not up for debate. But thank you.
You're a Tory Chair.
Mr. Mayor, you can start it, but I can assure you I will finish it. So
Go on, then.
let's move
Go on,
on
Tory
to
Chair,
the
finish
next
it.
question. Let's move on to the next question. And the next question is about protecting vulnerable communities, and that's from Assembly Member Bailey.
Is it my turn now, Chair?
You have the question.
Okay.
I think possibly you need to calm down, Mr. Mayor, because...
Sorry, Chair?
We
You
have
in
to get through
patronising
these
again, are you?
questions. We have to get through these questions.
Okay.
So if you could answer the question, please.
For those in the gallery, you can tell he's a Tory, can't you? My turn now?
It's up to you, Mr. Mayor. The question has been asked. You wish to answer it, that's fine.
What you should be doing,
Chair,
Mr.
this
Mayor,
is a
is
speech.
listening
And Chair,
to
you've got
what
to be
the
impartial.
residents
Chair, you
are
must be
saying to
impartial.
you.
Chair, I know she's your leader. You must be impartial.
Can we get an answer?
Well, I was answering and you interrupted. Can I answer now?
Perhaps you could be a bit more concise
Well,
with your answer.
Chair, it's not for you to tell me how long I can answer for.
Actually, it is.
Well, no.
If you could...
Yeah.
Mayor's-
Know your
it's Mayor's
place,
question
Mr.
time.
Mayor. Know your
Mayor's question
place.
time. It's Mayor's
could
question.
be more
It's not
concise,
Tory
please.
question time, Chair. It's Mayor's question time. So it's assertion times, is it, rather than question times?
Well, apparently not, because we're moving on. So, Assembly Member Baker...
Well, the season of goodwill doesn't apply to the partial chair, I see.
Shall I go on to something else that you might prefer, Mr. Mayor?
So for
In
those
your
young
manifesto-
people, for those young people watching, not all politicians are rude, like Assembly Member Susan Hall. Some are very polite and courteous.
And some answer questions,
I think-
everybody in the
I think-
audience. So the next question, let's have a bash.
Mr. Mayor, I think those personal comments are uncalled for.
The explanation or a question?
I think there's a question.
Will that use up his time?
You can answer the question, or you can not answer the question.
No, I'm not going to bother.
You. Unbelievable. Tell all these
You're making-
people that
you're
you will
making a
listen to
speech.
them.
And the chair's got to be impartial, but he's not, clearly. You've got
question-
the nonsense
the
of
question-
devilish bellowing nonsense.
You've got to invest in these communities. When I see crocodile ears talking about their anguish at the heartbreaking news of more black Londoners losing their lives.
I need to understand how you think I'm expressing crocodile tears.
Sorry, Chair, is that question?
Yes.
I'm quite clear. Andrew, this is beneath you, Andrew. Andrew, it's beneath you.
Can we get a question?
Okay, the next question. Do you think it's a good example of social or economic benefits? Question mark.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, Chair. In the fourth minute of the question, I lost train of what was being said. Can she repeat that? It's Mayor's question time, not Assembly statements. Chair, Chair, come on. You've got to be impartial, at least for the first half an hour.
You were given a chance to answer. You answered.
Chair, the question was about exemptions for disabled Londoners, and the Mayor doesn't want to answer that, but that's fine. Move on.
That's your answer to that.
Oh, no, I'm more than happy to answer the questions if I'm given
If he doesn't
time.
want to answer them, it's fine.
I wasn't sure if it was a statement or a question.
Well, there was a specific question about disabled.
There was a specific question. The Mayor heard the question and he didn't want to speak up for disabled Londoners, so let's move on.
Let's
Thank you.
move on.
Shows a difference talking makes rather than legislation banning strikes as you want to do.
Thank you, and I'd like to thank the Mayor with the worst strike record rate for London for his answers today.
Chair, I'm assuming again, as an impartial chair, you're going to suggest that's a speech rather than a question for you to answer.
It's an assertion, and if you listen, all your Labour members will make assertions after their questions. Just because you like those assertions, they're still the same.
I'm assuming this is another speech rather than a question.
Or what we could do is get another question.
Oh dear, they don't like it, do they?
I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Mayor, about...
Here they go.
My time is up because all you do is go round the houses and blame everybody else. Remember, you do have an £18 billion budget, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Chair.
I'm assuming, Chair, you're going to rule that was that speech was allowed and not a question. I can't answer.
I wouldn't want to get in the way of Assembly Member Desai, who wishes to ask a question.
Can you answer the questions? I know it's obviously difficult for you.
More
the
than happy
actual
to.
question
Ask the question.
isn't written down.
Ask the question rather than a speech.
I keep asking you questions. You do not answer properly. You don't answer any of my colleagues.
Is that a speech
properly.
or a question?
You do answer Labour's.
Is that a speech or a question? And indeed, members of the Assembly can also come along and make representations, as sometimes the good ones do.
Oh dear. You are in such a mood
that a
today,
question?
aren't you?
Is that a
Do
question?
you know, Mr. Mayor, you've had billions. I'm sure somebody will pick that up. I'm absolutely disgusted by the way you ignore local democracy.
Is that a
at
question,
times. You
Chair?
do not want
Is
to
that a
know.
question, Chair?
Assembly...
I'm not going to ask another one, Chairman, on the
thank you.
basis he spends hours wasting our time.
Assembly Member Best.
Thank you. That was a really good question there, Assembly Member Clark. But I saw that the Mayor didn't have
Is that a
any
question?
problems
Sorry, is that a
answering
question, Chair?
statement. So,
Chair, come on, it's 12 o'clock
can I-
now. Try and chair this meeting impartially.
Could you stop interrupting the member and allow
No,
her to ask
no,
a
not really.
question? Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'm in charge here.
Well, act like it
Please.
impartially, please.
Please just allow the member to ask the question.
If there's a question, sure. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
More than any other Labour politician I've ever heard, people want him to resign because he's done a rubbish job on crime.